Boris Johnson is heading for 10 more years as Prime Minister, according to a top American pollster. The Prime Minister represents the sensible centre of British politics that determines who wins at the polls, Frank Luntz said. His biggest threat is from cabinet colleagues rather than Labour, the communications consultant warned. Sir Keir Starmer cannot come back to win the next election if his party continues the way it is now because it does not offer enough people the kind of country they aspire to. He said, "The party that wins the sensible centre is the party that governs for the next 10 years. The Conservatives have a better chance of doing it because that is what Boris represents. He is not seen as ideological. Even though they are critical of him, they are critical of him for his behaviour, not his politics." Dr. Luntz said Mr. Johnson will upset hardcore Tories almost as much as he will upset people on the left, but that puts him in a winning position. He made the assessment after a major study on what Britain really thinks for the Centre for Policy Studies. It found 5 of the 6 top concerns were linked to the economy, such as the cost of living, jobs and pensions. Voters are overwhelmingly fed up with all politicians and believe they are in it for themselves. They have very little interest in so-called woke issues, and the biggest divisions in attitudes in the country are between city dwellers and everyone else. But the research found that 53% of young people have rejected a friend because they disagree with them about political issues. He said the younger generation are the most intolerant ever and are fueled by resentment and revenge. Some 64% of voters think cancel culture has gone too far and that people should be able to express themselves without fear of consequences. Dr. Luntz said Labour could have a chance at the next election if it found a way to completely reshape its image like Tony Blair in the 1990s. Although Labour has tried to avoid wading into controversial culture war areas, it has not found a way to reject the groups and supporters linked to do. The research found 37% of its backers find the country an embarrassment. Voters believe they will end up footing the bill for the party's tax the rich approach. Dr. Luntz urged all politicians to be more like Gareth Southgate, by showing leadership and personal responsibility. He said the England manager is one of the most significant people I have come across, and represents the centre of Britain.